This is the realest show out.
You did the opposite of what I think most people do. Sometimes it can be kind of scary to just put yourself out there.
That's real. That's raw. That's exactly what we're looking for. We look forward to connecting with you guys on all of our social media platforms. The way to support us is to like and comment on all your favorite episodes. And please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications for the next Gut Check Uncut. What's up, everybody? Todd Special here, co-host of Gut Check Uncut. I got B-Bisc in the house.
B-Bisc is here.
Dude, when I talk about strength with our next guest, I mean, she makes you look extremely small. Is that normal? Or?
I tried to fuck with the cameras a little bit to make me look bigger.
I don't think it's possible. I mean, you did say you were going to wear a tank top, and so you saw her working out.
100%.
And you didn't, though.
It's all about staying in your own lane, bro.
Well, here's the deal. Our next guest is Miss Margaux Alvarez. She is unbelievable. She's been on the Titan Games, got wine, and she's got all sorts of stuff that she does, but her passion is really helping people. So I'd love to welcome her to the show. Margaux, thank you so much for being on. It's an honor to have you, and we just love everything you're about. But if someone doesn't know who you are, can you just tell the world a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me on. Well, I'm a winemaker, wine entrepreneur, NBC Titan CrossFit Games Athlete, fitness coach, and small business owner. Lived a lot of places in my life, but I currently reside in Las Vegas. I have my wine company that's based out of Paso Robles, California, but I do most of my business here in Las Vegas. Been here 3 years now. So I love fitness. I love wine. I love blending those together and helping others through life.
Fitness and wine. It sounds like my wife has the first half. She's got the wine down. but luckily she has a metabolism of a 16-year-old that runs like crazy every day. So she looks amazing. But tell us a little about, how'd you get into wine?
Yeah. So I've done home production wine for a good number of years. I had a small piece of property that I just made a home production wine, and I love the process. I think the biggest thing for me, that was kind of in the middle of my career where I was training 6 to 8 hours a day. And to reach your physical goals in the gym, you have to spend a lot of time. You have to be patient. It takes months, years to get where you're at. And I saw that very similar process in the winemaking. You know, you have to plant the grapes, let them essentially get age under their time. Then you have to harvest them, crush them, let them age in barrels, then you bottle them, then you eventually let them age even more, and then you can finally drink it. So it's a month to years process, and depending on the type of wine, might be multiple years. And so those parallels that I saw between both the fitness and the wine really drew me in. And I'm all about hard work. I don't mind putting blood, sweat, and tears to reach my goals. I don't mind putting that effort in, and seeing those two, just it really brought it full circle for myself. And I think being named after Chateau Margaux, a very famous area region in France of wine, I felt like I was kind of destined to be in the wine industry in some form or fashion. So that was kind of the start of the journey. And from there, I decided to launch my business and get into distribution. It's no easy task, we'll say that, but I've been very headstrong and determined.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I was doing a little bit of my homework, and I would love to know some of the I always screw up words on here. Chronology? Is that the right way to say it? So yeah. I saw Winepreneur, I saw CrossFit Games and Titan Games, and then I saw long drive competitions and shit like that. Like, what came first? And like, cause you like do everything. So like, you're businesswoman, it was awesome. So like,
I feel like the next thing she's gonna make furniture with her bare hands. Crazy. So how'd you get into long drive competitions?
So I actually played golf from the age of like 8 to 18. So I grew up playing golf, my sisters and I loved it. It was something that I could obviously be outdoors and nature. And it was very, even though a lot of people may not agree, it was very calming in some senses. There are definitely times where it's not calming, but the ability just to be outside and literally just focus on you versus yourself, because you can't worry about anyone else. It's you and your swing. And doing that for 10 years growing up was awesome. I tried to go to school, university for golf, didn't happen. So I ended up kind of putting in the back burner, hitting balls from time to time, playing with friends, and actually saw the long drive competition on the Golf Channel in 2018. And I thought, well, I mean, I could swim a golf club. I was like, I'm a little tighter now that I'm a little stronger, but if I can get back into it. And so I started signing up, and I think it was like March of 2019, I signed up for my first competition, and I absolutely loved it. I didn't know that it was a men only competition. It was just an open division. I was like, okay, cool. I'll go hit with like the other ladies. And then got there and I was like, only dudes, which I'm like, all right, whatever, let's go tee them up and hit my balls. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And I've kind of put that a little bit on the back burner because some things have changed with the structure because of last year, everything got shut down. So the setup and who owned and who operated the long drive kind of changed a little bit, but I still love it. I love to get back into it a little bit more. The business is kind of taking a little more head steam and the focus recently. So, but I love golf. It's again, it's a very mental sport. And I think that transferred over to my training in CrossFit and also transferred over to becoming a business owner. Having the ability to be patient and not like get upset after one swing.
Well, Brandon's a avid golfer. I'm an avid golfer
Nice.
too, but Brandon's good. I am not. So there's a massive difference between that too. But you're right, it
That's
takes
awesome.
patience and a lot of stuff. And Brandon helps me a lot on the golf course because again, I'm very passionate. I love the game. But he talks about exactly what you're saying, having the patience and working on just little tweaks and things that can actually just make a massive difference in your game helps me tremendously. I can see how that compounds into your business world by just little tweaks in the business realm that's going to help you kind of be a better business owner. So that's pretty cool. That's the first time I've heard golf really tied
it's
in.
cool. I'm glad you mentioned it because we've gotten to talk with a ton of different types of very successful people on this podcast, and we always talk about all the different people that we meet and get the opportunity to talk to that have had amazing success. A constant that always comes up is mental strength, mental fortitude. It's not always my degree or whatever all that other bullshit, and it always comes back to mindset and positivity and things like that. And golf is the same way. People don't realize it, but it's 90% in your head. I mean, you got to have skill, of course, but a lot of people can't even gain the skill unless their mind is right to get through all the bad shots and all that kind of bullshit. So I love that you mentioned it because, he can be a little bit of a hothead on the golf course. And I definitely used to be until I saw the value of staying calm and collected.
I can be?
No, 100%. Yeah.
That's a little, I think you're being aggressive right now. I think because we're on camera right now, you're trying to make yourself look better. I don't know what's going on right now.
That could be the case too.
That could be, but it's reality. It's not. So let's get into 7 times CrossFit Games person as well. Titan Games champion, which is the cool. I watched the show. I loved it. When I was looking for guests and reached out to you, I said, man, this is the coolest thing ever. We had a previous guest on, Carrie Pierce. And Carrie Pierce, awesome. I'm sure, you guys, I'm sure know each other. Yeah, she is so cool, man. And just to kind of see the similarities is awesome. But you and Carrie Pierce, head to head, who wins in CrossFit Games? That's what I want to know.
Oh man, it's tough. I would say it's tough because as much as I love my competitive CrossFit career and I am so happy with everything that I did, I would have to say Carrie, just because her gymnastics is by far, she was a gymnast for years. And so that base is huge. Like if I could go back over and redo my young childhood to lead me into CrossFit, I was like, put me in gymnastics, make me a swimmer. And just because I think there's a lot of things that transfer over from the gymnastics, not only in the gymnastics modality, but just proprioception, body awareness, because I think a gymnast that comes into CrossFit can do relatively well with the weightlifting because they understand their body in space with any other external object.
Yeah, it's cool. Did CrossFit, all of a sudden Titan Games becomes, and then all of a sudden you get Margaux saying, hey, I think I can do this. You were exceptional on that show. I saw the emotion. I saw the fierce, the fighting within you. I think for a female fitness coach, it's really empowering for a lot of other women to see what you've done. That show, it had to be a platform to kind of help you as well. But you seem very competitive, right? But when you're out there, you didn't stop. I saw a couple of times you look like, oh God. How hard are those obstacles? They got to be super hard.
Yeah. So it was, just to give a little order, I did the CrossFit Games from 2013 to 2019. It was an amazing experience. And after that, I knew I wanted to focus more on the business after launching it, but I had the opportunity to go to the American Ninja Warrior, and I did that. I got selected for that in early 2019, and I loved it. It was great. Definitely not so much of I would say a ninja individual in terms of my body type and how I'm built structure-wise, but it was a great opportunity to get to meet a lot of people. And then fast forward to the end of that year, 2019, it was the same casting crew, and they reached out to me and like, hey, would you want to do the Titan Games? And I had watched the first season. I was like, hell yeah, I want to do the Titan Games. This is all in my alleyway. I like more odd object training. And so that allowed me to, submit the process and application for that. And after being selected for the preliminaries, I was like, man, this is a really cool opportunity. Hopefully I'll get selected. And for myself, I look at life that, you're not always going to have a guarantee of X or Y in your life. Any opportunity that comes your way, take advantage of it, make the most of it, because it could be gone tomorrow, next month, next year. And I think going through personal experiences in my life has really resonated that, or has kind of drilled it home in a positive way, because it's like, hey, if I say no to this, then I'm not guaranteed I might come around next year. So I took that chance and opportunity, got selected, and then got to go to the finals. And that was just an incredible experience. And like you said, it was a huge platform for myself to be able to share my story, and be able to reach out to other people. And I think that's something where it's hard when you go through the loss of a family member. A lot of people want to internalize it, and there will be a wave of emotions. And I think those people that have gone through it, they will be able to understand that. But being able to talk about it is so huge. So I think it's a great way to heal. And again, everyone's on their own time frame or timeline of how that looks. But to be able to share that with other people and say, hey, like, not everyone has a great life. We all have our challenges. We all have our obstacles, but how can we embrace them? How can we learn from them? How can we maybe overcome that challenge and obstacle and use that to come forward? And maybe that's helping other people. Maybe that's helping ourselves. And for myself, it's like at the end of the day, like, I want to be able to give back in any form or fashion, and to be able to be on that show. And I know DJ wanted to create a platform that could share other people's stories, and being able to talk to him and, talk about kind of his life and his experience with his dad passing, and, also going through that with my sister, just being able to showcase and highlight other people. It was an incredible experience. And I met so many awesome people that I still keep in touch with to this day. And I'm very blessed that all of our paths had crossed at that time.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about DJ, for those of you that are watching or viewing, just talking about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
yeah, no, that's okay. I wanted to, because obviously I know, and a lot of people probably know as well. Just want to clarify that. How was that experience? I mean, everybody that we know that has, because we've had Country Strong that is going to be on the show as well. It seems like an unbelievably cool guy.
He's awesome.
It's so cool, but everybody's like, dude, The Rock is just a genuinely good human, is what we're hearing. Is that in your case as well?
Yeah, 100%. And he has a lot on his plate, and he was filming a movie while we were filming the show down there. But he's just, his humbleness and genuineness from the inside out, you can definitely see and resonate with it. And being able to just have that one moment, or those few moments, to be able to conversate with them and have interactions and conversations, I think is important, because you get to see the true kind of ethos of an individual. And it definitely, like, obviously he has a lot of eyes on him. He's being pulled in multiple different directions, but to be able to have the opportunity was really cool, and still being able to connect and stay in touch after the show. It was, again, just like phenomenal experience. And I think a lot of people, it's, it's like, oh, me, like, I didn't get to talk to him, or this or that, or whatever it might be. It's like, man, people have busy lives and people have a lot of things going on. So it's like, just understanding and respecting their time is huge. And I think a lot of people, no matter what industry you're in, time is something you cannot get back, and understanding that and respecting that and honoring that is so important. So it's like, I respected his time. I respected that opportunity in many different facets.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I mean,
So
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just curious, because I mean, I am by no means a CrossFitter, obviously, as you can look at me, but I have done CrossFit before.
You're
and I
great
know
with
what
the koozie. You're great with the koozie. I mean,
and a wine. I can drink some, but I've done like a CrossFit workouts and the CrossFit main site workouts and stuff like that. And then I see the show, and I see there are, some CrossFitters that have been on the show that, do pretty well. I'm curious, if you had to gauge a tough game style CrossFit workout versus what you went through on the Titan Games, was there similarities? Was one harder than the other?
Yeah, there are definitely some similarities in terms of like the time frame. Like running like Mount Olympus and doing that was anywhere from a 2 to 4-ish minute time frame. So I think of kind of like Fran or Grace, or I mean, Grace is a little fast, but a longer-ish workout where you kind of need to have that throttle all the way out, but you need to make sure you have enough at the end. Like for me, pulling that ball and chain, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. Again, like I like odd object stuff like that. Like I've pulled 300-pound wheelbarrows through sand. Like this is not easy, but it's something I'm like, all right, let's do more of this. Right. And so you have to be able to push yourself in that environment. I think those that trained, the methodology that you have, a wide variety of training, was important, because it allowed you to have short workouts, long workouts, like the one that I did with Kelly Stone when we're up against that wall, like Lunar Impact. We're up there for a good 10 to 15 minutes. Obviously the show just shows 2-3 minutes of it, but like you need to have the endurance and the stamina to be able to last like I would think like a wall sit, but you're actively pushing against that wall for 10 to 15 minutes. And that was a long time. But again, you have to kind of be a little bit prepared for everything. And so there are some similarities for sure to those shorter workouts. But also, again, it tests you in different way. Cause it's like, now it's TV because people are watching you and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's different because you are filming, you are competing, but at the same time, they need to make sure they get the shots for the show. So it's like, there is multiple takes of, the intro or the waiting or hanging out. But it's like, once the 3, 2, 1, go happens, you're like, all right, I need to lay it all out there.
Well, I think that's life in general, right? Like, we've had a lot of really strong entrepreneurs and businessmen and women on the show, and they have that mentality that it is the 3, 2, 1, go, right? Like, you've got to just go out and do it. There's a lot of people that are scared to take chances or scared to take risks. And it seems there's a lot of similarities in everyone that says, hey, when that bell rings and it's time to just crush life, it's time to go after everything you've ever wanted. You have a choice. You can be lazy as shit and not go after everything, or you can just say 3, 2, 1, go, and that's it. And we talked about in the past, kind of like the Mel Robbins, a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, jump up out of bed. It's just it's a process. Were you always that way, or did it take you time to say, you know what, because you seem very entrepreneurial and you seem like you don't give up on anything. And I think you are a massive role model for men and women in the world, as far as someone who just doesn't give up. Was there a point in your life? I mean, I know that you've suffered loss, and I know that you've been through a lot of hard times, but you seem like you have that mentality of just go, concentrate, dedicate yourself, and you just don't fail. You either keep going, win or learn. Those are the only choices. How did was there something in your life that actually, transitioned to in being that person, or was it just always that way for you?
I think it's always been that way for me, because I think I always look back to, like, when I was little, I always gravitated toward challenging situations and put myself in maybe odd situations where I didn't think I would be, but I always persevered through. And I think that perseverance was huge. I think back when I think I was like 8 or 9. I started, I think it was 8, started Taekwondo, did that for about 4.5 years. And I was testing for my 2nd degree black belt, and the instructor, still remember his name, Chris Devine. And I was trying to break like that piece of plywood as one of your tests. And I just couldn't get it. I believe I was 12 at the time, 12 and a half. And I just couldn't get it. But I remember him telling me, like, you have to continue to persevere. You have to look not only at the board, but through the board, and, not give up. And even though I was like sad, I was like, I want to break this board. I was frustrated. I didn't end up breaking the board, but I think that was a great lesson for me, because it taught me, like, even if you don't get exactly what you want, that doesn't mean you can't keep trying. You can't keep pushing. You can't challenge yourself in a different form to be able to get where you're at. So I think for myself, that was a huge learning lesson, even though I clearly decided to continue and push, and I was able to put myself in that environment at a young age. I think I've always had that instilled with me. And I think my mom did a great job of raising me and making sure that she communicated to me, like, hey, like, be true, be kind, treat others how you want to be treated, but, like, be relentless in your pursuit for whatever it is that you want. And I think you said it's great. Like, I may not win or get exactly what I'm looking for, but I learned, or I'm able to adapt, and I'm able to ebb and flow like water and change my goals. Because I think I've learned goals will change and they will evolve over time. The goals you have in your teens and your 20s and 30s and 40s, 50s, they will change. So it's like figuring out how they meet you now, or where you come to center with them now, where you're at in life. And I think it's important to resonate with that, and also, like, stop and, like, take a moment to step back. Because it's like, if you're constantly pushing forward, I think it's great, because I definitely have that mentality. I'll keep going. I'll work 12-hour days, doesn't matter. But if I don't take a step back to say, hey, where am I now? Am I on the right path? Do I need to change something so I can be in a better path? I think it's really important to slow down. I think a lot of people in the society these days, it's like, no, you can't do that. It's like, no, we should do that. It's just figuring out the best time and place for it.
So on that topic, I mean, I know you've done so much, and I know now you're a winepreneur, as you would call yourself. I'm just curious as to, today, where is the majority of your focus? Is it on the fitness and coaching and things like that, or is it really more around the wine, or what's your main focus today?
I mean, the main focus for sure is my business, the wine company, but in doing that, fitness is just as part of it, because that's how I'm being able to provide information and content and education to people. Because a lot of people love wine, they want to drink wine, they want to learn about it. But for me, it's all about balance and moderation. And I share that with a lot of people. So whether I'm doing challenges for 8 weeks, or if I'm just doing free coaching on YouTube, talking to people on social media, being able to provide that content. So I would say it's definitely the wine business, but the fitness is integrated right along there. There's 2 parallel lines that kind of mirror each other.
So a couple things, like I love hearing that, especially the wine business. But one thing that's always make it seemed very nasty to me is when you have to put your feet in the wine bucket and you stomp on the grapes. I'm like,
I'm drinking feet.
who the fuck drinks this after people's feet have been stomped? Like, I know there's a process because I'm not a complete idiot, but it's like I sit there and I'm just like, I see people stomping on grapes. I don't know if that am I going to get people's foot juice in
I don't
my
even know
wine?
if that's
Like,
real. I think that's
it-
just something for
is-
TV.
yeah,
The
is
bottle
that
of wine that I
real
drank last night
or-
probably wasn't stomped on with
Totally
feet,
for
right?
TV. Definitely for
Oh.
that perception. Yeah.
Oh, thank God, because
I don't know of anyone that would drink that juice.
I had just no foot juice. I was like, man, is that a flavor like biscuit feet or something? Like, I don't know what it is, but it's cool to kind of see it, and it is fun to watch it. But I always tell people that I can't tell the difference, and you're going to hate me, Margaux, I know this, but I can't tell the difference between a $3 oak leaf and a very expensive glass of Chardonnay. I have no clue. Like, if someone all I know is the hangovers are worse on the cheaper wine. Yeah, that's, but I mean,
You just gotta sample more.
yeah, I guess so. And my wife would agree, like in all aspects, but it's cool to see it. So, I mean, talk about that wine process a little bit. Like, I know you're concentrating on wine and your business and stuff like that. I mean, how long does is there a specific amount of time that you let the wine age, or like, I mean, how does the wine?
There's definitely times. I mean, you think of like bolder wines, like stronger wines, like a Cab or Syrah, those definitely age a little longer. Just to give an example, we bottled last year in June 2020 of our 2018 vintage. It could definitely age. You could hold on to that wine for years upon end, but it's also drinkable now. So it just depends. Everyone has their own process. Our biggest thing is like, we have this great wine, this amazing wine, and it's great. I mean, the juice is important because if you're trying to get into distribution, you're trying to sell the wine, it needs to be enjoyable. It needs to be able to be drank by the consumers or the clients. But at the same time, it's like, how am I going to build these relationships and these connections with people out there? Because it's not just about the product. Like, the product can be great, but if no one knows about it, no one really has a desire to buy your product because you're an asshole, then why would you want to support them? And for me, it's been always, ever since I was younger, about the relationships and the connections. So it's like, I want to create this experience with people. So whether that's doing a yoga and wine night, coming to a local city or town that I'm from, or where the location's at, I can share this experience. We get to bond. I get to hear about their story about fitness, or hear about, what they've been doing with their life, or how, exercise or anything else in their life has been impactful. And I think for myself, that's more important, because what's going to be remembered is how people treated you, and vice versa, or how you treated other people, like the connections you had. I mean, that was something I always try to remember within the competition, because if I didn't perform to my level, or didn't perform to what I wanted or what I thought I could do, it wasn't just about that. There's more to it than just that one piece. And that's something I've learned along the way, and being able to share this experience with people has been huge. So yes, I think I have good wine. I have great wine with people, but I also want to share this experience. I want to be able to wind down at the end of the day and hear about the struggles and the successes that we've all faced, because nothing's picture perfect. Nothing is always sunshine and rainbows. And when it is, like, celebrate that, enjoy it. But it's also like, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's pop that bottle, enjoy this experience, and let's have that connection, because from that, you can build upon more relationships and network with more people and more businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's pretty cool because, I'm listening to you speak, and I can feel the passion, obviously, about you and the business. It's pretty awesome. You talk about fitness, you talk about wine. It's pretty cool. Did you grow up watching Gary Vee's wine stuff on YouTube or no?
No,
Oh, okay.
I definitely did see it when I was younger. So not until now. I mean, he's been around the 1980s with his parents' wine shop. It's just incredible. I mean, he was way ahead of the curve in terms of like YouTube and social media and all that.
Yeah, no, it's just cool because a lot of people kind of mimic that, but I appreciate that. And I also, we were just talking with one of our clients that we do consulting for, and they have, tons of their franchise, we'll just say, just to keep some privacy out there. And she was asking, how can we scale? And what you're telling me is what I want people to hear about, whether anybody's watching or listening to the show right now, is about the connection, the story, right? Like, if I'm dealing with Margaux, I'm dealing with Margaux because of who you are. There's a lot of times that we teach people and clients that in selling, it's not always about the product or service that you're offering. You can offer a good product or service, but the story behind that, like, I want to be involved with a Margaux Alvarez. I want to be involved with a Brandon Biscay. I want to be involved with people that I know that are doing great things, but are more importantly, good people that actually give a shit about me and my success as well, and actually care about my story. Your story is what is going to sell your product. How how you feel about your clients, how you treat people is the story behind the product that you're offering. The product, you know, obviously for lack of better terms, is a byproduct of who you are, in my personal opinion.
Dude, I love that you mentioned that, because I was thinking about that from this morning's call. Because like if it's me and I you know, I'll drink a $12 or $15 bottle of wine on a Wednesday night.
Three
I'm
of them
nothing too
on a
fancy.
Wednesday
Yeah,
night. Three of them.
So, but you know, I'm in the grocery store, and you know, I don't know enough about wine to be able to really tell the difference. There's a million bottles, and a bunch are priced similar. And there's, you know, I'm looking at, oh, what's the coolest bottle? I don't know, whatever bottle looks the coolest, I'll buy one of those. But if I knew that a certain story behind a brand, I'm going to go to that one, because to me, and I know there's people much more sophisticated in wine and palates than I am, but to me, the average, you know, Joe, so to speak, they all taste the same to me. One bottle's cooler than another. They're all priced similar. they all might taste similar for like a nightly type of drinker, which should tell you something about me. But I'm going to gravitate towards the one that has something else behind it, a story, something cool. I know the person, I know the story. So I'm glad you said it, because it's what can differentiate you amongst the other ones that to an average Joe might taste the same and same prices as another one. And I love the fact that you're trying to get more of that experience out there, and you know, having a glass of wine and having a conversation and stuff like that, because that's what's going to make the difference. That's what finds you a follower. That's what has someone that's going to buy your bottle on the shelf versus another one when they haven't even tasted either.
Well, I just pictured time with Margaux watching you doing yoga, trying to stretch, and it was like very hilarious in my mind, and I would buy a bottle just to watch that. I might buy a case to watch that. Say, Brandon, do this move, and you would just fall right over. It's not, but
no, I 100% agree. It's again like that story, that resonation, being able to grow. And like for myself, in terms of scaling, like I want to get to the point where I can have 50,000 cases and be able to travel around the nation and the world to be able to share my story, because life is too short to not be able to enjoy that with everyone and share that with everyone. And it's like, I want to be able to be as in many locations as I can, keep the quality, but share my story and being able to talk to people. Because a lot of it's, again, people don't know. And education, I want to be able to break that barrier where people think, oh, I can't drink wine because I don't know anything about it. Like the best way to get started is start tasting different wines. I'm not saying go drink and crush like 6 bottles a night, moderation, but I'm saying, you know, try different wines, find something that you like, find something that you don't like, go do tastings, talk to people. And I think there's this kind of this aura sometimes around it that it's only for prestigious environments or situations, and it's not. It's about the experience, and that's what my whole message has been. Like, you work hard every single day, whether that's the gym, your career, school, family, whatever it might be. At the end of the day, open up a glass, enjoy a glass of wine with your family, friends. If you don't drink wine, maybe it's beer. If you don't drink at all, maybe it's bonbons on the couch with your kids. But just find something to celebrate that process, and again, break that barrier and just enjoy it.
So quick question. Do you have to be, and I'm going to sound like an idiot when I say this because I don't know the proper term. Is it sommelier? Am I saying that right?
Sommelier, yeah.
What is it?
Sommelier.
Sommelier. Okay. That's like a master in wine. Is that right?
Yes, that's it's a very grand title.
Yes.
I do not have that. I've done the intro to Somm class and I absolutely loved it. I have a really good friend, Jason Smith, who's also, he was one of the youngest master somms in the US until recently. But that's something I definitely love. Education, just trying to find the time to do that and do the tests and all that. But I would love to be able to further that for sure, because I feel like there's a lot that goes into it. I love the farming aspect of it, and I feel like a lot of that can open and unveil a lot of things about the wine and where it came from, the climate, what year, temperature, like diurnal shifts in the climate, and there's a lot that goes into it. So definitely want to learn more about it. It's just like, again, if I could squeeze more hours into the day.
Well, you know, it's funny, actually. I think it's a positive that you're not a master somm, and I'll tell you why. It just gives a lot of people hope, right? That someone like yourself who's dedicated to your craft, you're passionate about what you love to do. You don't have to be a master somm to be able to open have a vineyard or create a wine product yourself. You're just passionate. And so I want people and listeners to know that if you are passionate about something, you don't have to be a master at it to do it. Just dive in, do it. You'll learn as you go. And if eventually you become a master somm, that's a great thing. But if you don't have to. You know, you just love wine. I can see it in your face when you talk about it. People that are watching, they can see it too. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, you know, I do have, and we won't keep you on very long. I could talk to you all day. But you know, at what age was fitness one of your like primary sources of happiness? I mean, I know that it's something you're super passionate about. about. I know you love helping people. I know you do a lot of free fitness stuff and training and stuff like that. That just shows me that you care about it, but you're also like really into it. What age did that change? Was it like growing up, consistently? What did you start like professionally? You wanted to compete? How did that happen?
Yeah, so I think I've always been involved just in activities. When I was little, I did horseback riding, taekwondo, ballet, and I loved it. Golf. I loved just being active and outdoors. And I think that was my mom just really instilling activity in us. And so I think that was just part of like life. I need to be doing something. And then as I grew up, as I went to high school, I started to get a little bit into the gym. And it wasn't until university that I was like, all right, man, like I really like going to the gym a little bit more. I didn't know much, but I started going and I enjoyed it. Once I graduated from university, I wanted to work in some sort of health and fitness industry because I knew I wanted to help people. I just didn't know in what form or fashion. And I started there as a marketing assistant and connected with some friends that were personal trainers. I was like, that was kind of the time I'm like, oh, like, let me see if I can, get my certificate, become a personal trainer and help others. And that was where I think that door really opened a little bit more. So that was back in like 2008, 2009. And I was like, man, I really love the fitness. And I realized and I felt like it became not an escape, but a way of therapy in a way. I think my sister just passed earlier that year. And I think for me, it was a way to get out emotions, whether it was happiness, sadness. I loved running. And I found that love for running in college. And I think once my sister passed, I was like, all right, this is the time that I can go be by myself. I don't have to worry about things. And even maybe thoughts enter my mind, I can just go out and be in nature. And I never really was a fan of running on treadmills, but being outdoors and having that pavement hit my foot and just continue repetitively, like whether I was listening to music or just nothing, that was kind of my solace in a way. And I think that propelled me forward into the personal training. And then after doing that for a few years, found CrossFit, and that propelled me even more. And I think what I really loved about the CrossFit environment was that one, the community was supportive, and the community has been by far the number one that's been influential to me, but it's also the challenge you against yourself. So whatever thoughts you're going through, those mental thoughts that you might have during golf, similar thing here. You can't say, oh, well, your expectation or your movement or how you perform on a workout affects me. No, it's you versus you. And I think that's a good life lesson as well. It's like, no matter what's going on, it's you versus yourself. And I think that just propelled me. As soon as I found out, I was like, man, I love this. I love this challenge. And like I said earlier, for some reason, I'm gravitated towards challenging situations. Don't know why, but I like to put myself in shitty situations sometimes and figure a way out. And when I found out about CrossFit and competing, I was like, I just literally threw myself in there. And there was a lot of people in the beginning that were like, yeah, okay, sure, cool. Like, you're going to compete. And it's like kind of what you said earlier. You just have to do it. Mm-hmm. Like, I did 3 weeks of, amateur competitions, just weekend competitions, local comps. Don't recommend that anyone out there, whether that's running, CrossFit, anything else, take some time and, do once a month or whatever it is that you might find, but take that step and just do it. I left my full-time marketing coordinator position in personal training to pursue full-time as a coach in CrossFit and full-time like competitor. And there was no guarantee. I was not guaranteed money. I definitely didn't have insurance for a while. I said no to a lot of things, but I got to say yes to that. And I was not guaranteed, yes, I'll make it to the games. I was not guaranteed, yes, I'll be successful, and yes, I'll qualify, and yes, I'll go numerous years in a row. Even though that was my goal, I was not guaranteed it. So I took that chance. And I think that's what, for me, it's been a life lesson, especially with business. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to get into that with that distributor. I don't know if I'm going to get into that state, but I'm going to be relentless and I'm going to push, and I may be annoying at times, but hell, like if I don't say anything, if I don't like speak what I want to say or push that email or push that meeting, then I'm just going to sit back and I wonder what if. So I have to be proactive. And that's been a good life lesson for myself.
That's all. I mean, it's not really too much surprise based on a short conversation with you that you're successful in entrepreneurship because of just all the parallels that come from some of the competitiveness and things that you've had in your past. One thing I will say is I'm going to go home and tell my wife that Margaux Alvarez, who looks phenomenal, told me, she's a fitness athlete.
Here it comes.
And she owns a wine company and drinks probably, I don't know, every day. So when she tells me, Brandon, you got to lose 10 pounds, you stop drinking, I'm going to say, no.
But I think
Margaux has a wine company.
Yeah, but she has a
6-pack
and wine. You don't do the fitness side. You just do the wine side. So there's a combination between the two, man. It was a good try. I don't know, but I mean, Margaux, how does it feel knowing that you can pretty much beat all of us up and also crush us in arm wrestling? That's got to feel good.
How about that?
Well, we thank you so much for being on the show. I mean, we always do our intros before and after the show. We've got a lot of the social media stuff, but where can people find you? How can they get involved with you? Is there, a personal website that you would like to, tell people to find you at? How do they get connected to you? Not just wine, but fitness wise too, in your coaching.
Yeah. So if they want to follow me on social media, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at 321GO GAUX. And then I have my website, thegutwine.com. We have wine and apparel on there. And then I also have my fitness channel on YouTube, Margaux Alvarez. And that's where I'll share a lot of like the coaching workouts, just provide a lot of content. We're doing this next week 8 challenge coming up, and I'll be sharing workouts on there, coaching through everyone, kind of different levels, whether it's body weight, dumbbells, barbell, competitive program. Just want to be a share as much as I can so they can find me there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Are you in Florida yet, wine-wise, by chance? I'm
actually speaking to a fulfillment company. Hopefully I can get that next kind of coming up in the next few weeks. Hopefully, and if not later than that, then months, but I'm working on a new wine, a new brand that'll be coming out later this year, hopefully September, October. But I hope Florida is for sure one of those big states. Florida and Texas are 2 of our biggest states. And so I would love to get in there very soon. We can ship there like direct consumer via the website, but being able to get into distribution and local wine shops would be huge there.
Yeah, that's cool.
I feel like Margaux's wine would be a great sponsor for Gut Check. You know what I mean? Like we could just be sipping on it. We've already got Bang, which is not the right one anyways.
Yeah,
we
they
want
don't pay
Rain.
us
I like
yet,
Rain
but
way
I drink
better.
them.
Yeah, they don't pay us. Margaux, thank you so much for being on the show. You're an absolute inspiration. We're sitting there watching your videos and seeing you on the Titan Games, and it's really just and we don't blow smoke up anybody's ass. The truth is that and I know that you know this, and you seem extremely humble, but you're an inspiration for a lot of people. I mean, you've gone through loss, you've gone through the fitness side, you've gone through a lot of stuff but you just keep going. You're a prime example of perseverance and integrity and just being a good person. I personally cannot thank you enough for being on the show, and it means more than anything. So just want to let you know.
Thank you so much for your time.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate this opportunity. I'm very grateful to meet and connect with other people out there, like amazing people. I think are attracts alike, and so being able to connect with other good people is always refreshing.
Well, I mean, I know it was great meeting me, Brandon. It was okay, but it's fine.
If you're ever in Orlando, bring me a bottle of wine. We'll have a workout. You'll kick my ass. It'll be great.
We'll drink some wine. I'll let you guys know.
We'll work out. You'll kick my ass. Brandon will watch you kick my ass, and then we'll drink some wine. That's perfect. See how the triangle just works out great. But thank you again so much. We appreciate it. Guys, please go follow Margaux Alvarez. We're going to have all your social media platforms on the show. We are grateful, and just have a blessed day.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye. I mean, God damn it, dude. You talk about like powerful. First of all, I know we want to talk about her, but she is jacked.
Oh, dude, way more jacked than her traps are 10 times better than yours.
No argument. See, that's one time that you can actually beat me up, then I'm just going to agree. I'm just going to say, yeah.
Not better than mine.
No, dude, stop. Okay, you don't have traps. Like when people don't have necks because their muscles are so big? Your neck is so long because you have zero muscles.
I don't want to take like the attention away from the content of the podcast.
Here we go. Let me tell you guys something. Okay, anytime, I don't know if you heard when Brandon's like, listen, I can't wait to tell my wife about fitness and wine in combination. You have to have the fitness portion. Your wife has it, you don't. I don't know what you're talking about. She's working out when she's pregnant. You're watching her work out when she's pregnant.
I didn't really think about that before I made that joke. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, you did.
You instantly closed me. So
listen,
I'll give that one to you.
Wonderful.
You're welcome.
But the story's pretty crazy. I mean, she lost her sister. It aired on the show. She was talking about it. She suffered loss. She's persevered. She talked about putting herself in tough situations her entire life. Her back's always been against the wall. She's just a fierce competitor. Nothing stops her, whether it's fitness and business, etc. But one of the things that I love about it is that she's a strong woman, dude. You know what I mean? And I think in today's day and age, there is so much equality going around, but I think a lot of people question their ability to actually do something. She's like, fuck it. I don't have to be a master somm to sell wine. And she just did it because she's passionate about it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, I mean, again, we mentioned it in the podcast, but all of her experiences with being competitive and keep going and all that kind of stuff, obviously it's no surprise that she's a successful entrepreneur, but I think also it's pretty cool because, I don't think so from her story. She didn't like inherit some vineyard that's been in her family for 100 years or any of that shit. You know what I mean? She's a badass fitness chick, and all of a sudden now she has a wine company.
Well,
So, I mean, it's pretty sick.
well, she also I loved her, and I know that you like this too, the analogy of tying golf into business,
Obviously.
right? And you know, you made it a little aggressive. I'll be honest with you. We're talking about anger because I've seen you smash your driver on the tee box many of times. So we won't talk about that.
You want to get fucking
No,
closed
we're
about
not
you being more
going to talk
violent,
about it. It's fine. But
I'll
I'm just
close
saying,
the
you don't have to always be so negative. Remember what Ray Castro said earlier? He said, keep negative people out of your life. Keep that up. I'm cutting you.
Exactly.
But watching her and how she's kind of expanded, she's like, dude, I'll work 12 hours a day if I have to do this, right? There is no decision for her, right? She already knows what it's going to take to succeed at a very high level. She constantly just says, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep moving forward and just do it. A lot of people, I think, are so scared to take that extra step. They want to be something, or they want to be that next entrepreneur, but they're scared. And a lot of our guests talk about it. They're like, dude, I know less about business than I know about this that I'm complacent in, right? She knows about fitness. She may not know about business, but she took a chance. And now she's learning about business and she's getting herself, more acclimated on what it's going to take to be successful. I think that's a great message for people. You
100%.
want to be somebody, you want to do something, go out and fucking do it. Okay. Stop. If you only time you fail is if you quit. You got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep that rhythm, because if you don't and you quit is the only time that you fail, right?
You just got to take a dive, dude. I mean, she did. She went from, I think she mentioned marketing coordinator or something like that. And then she went to full-time fitness person. And now she took another dive to be a wine-entrepreneur. And she's like, listen, there was no plan B. There was no guarantee of anything, but I believed in it and I took a dive, and it's way easier said than done. But again, I'll say it like I always do. You talk to all these people that we've spoken to, all of them have similar messages when it comes to that. You got to fucking believe in yourself. There's no one that's going to believe in you more than you yourself. And there's no one that's going to be able to take the action for you. Someone could believe in you, maybe more than yourself, but no one's going to be able to make the decision for you to take a chance on yourself. And you just got to fucking do it.
One of the biggest takeaways I got out of this was it's you versus you. Success leaves clues. Every person that we've had on this podcast has left very similar clues of why they're successful. There are so many people out there following in the same footsteps. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Find out what successful people are doing and just fucking do it.
Take action, period. Just fucking do it.
Guys,
Period.
another great message from Gut Check Uncut. I got to tell you, you can call it bragging, you can call it airy. I don't give a fuck what you call it. The guests on this show are giving you guys the real and the raw information that you guys need to hear. Do me a favor, okay? I need you guys to subscribe, turn on your notifications, share this with your friends, comment about every single episode, okay? Please do that, because your voice matters too. It's not just about the guests that are all successful. It's not about just Brandon and I. It's about you as the person that are watching this, because we are so grateful. We are so thankful. You could be taking your time and doing something else, but you're getting great information from great people. Please comment, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Just follow us on every platform. And more importantly, follow these guests, because they're the ones that are going to dive into, as Brandon says, your lives to help you change.
God, I don't even want to say anything. That was fire.
Let's just cut. Thank you. Gut Check. Next
Cut.
Bye-bye. If you love this guest as much as we did, please follow them on all their social media platforms. The way to support us is to like and comment on all your favorite episodes. And please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification for the next Gut Check Uncut.